I'm watching Jimmy Dore. This is a program from some months back. But I got to tell you, just revisiting it, when I look at this human feces, this disgusting gynecological experiment, and I'm talking about you, Robert Mueller, and most of you scum that run the FBI, there has never been this level of treason in any Republican history. I don't care if you go to Judas Iscariot, Ephialtes at Thermopylae, Benedict Arnold, there has never in the history of known history been traitors like these scumbags, especially this one, this Nazi piece of crap, Herr Mueller, Sturmband Oberfuhrer. That's what he is. See, it's in the genes that he could sit there and look at you with this face and lie like the piece of crap he is. So if you see something and you're smart, you won't say something.
July 1st, 2016, they opened the investigation based on that piece of information. Diplomat tells Papadopoulos Russians have dirt, Papadopoulos tells a diplomat Russians have dirt on Clinton. Diplomat tells the FBI. What I'm wondering is, who told Papadopoulos?
Who told Papadopoulos?
How'd he find out?
I can't get into the evidence.
I can't tell you.
Yes, you can, because you wrote about it. You gave us the answer. Page 192 of the...
He doesn't even know what's in his own goddamn... I can't tell you who told him because that would out the whole thing. We already know. Watch this. Who told him?
Port, you tell us who told him. Joseph Mifsud. Joseph Mifsud's the guy who told Papadopoulos. The mysterious professor who lives in Rome and London, teaches in two different universities. This is the guy who told Papadopoulos. He's the guy who starts it all. And when the FBI interviews him, he lies 3 times, and yet you don't charge him with a crime. You charge Rick Gates for false statements. You charge Paul Manafort for false statements. You charge Michael Cohen with false statements. You charge Michael Flynn, a 3-star general, with false statements. But the guy who puts the country through this whole saga, starts it all for 3 years we've lived this now, he lies, and you guys don't charge him. And I'm curious as to why.
Well, we can't get into it, and it's obvious, I think, that we can't get into charging decisions.
When the FBI interviewed him in February, FBI interviews him in February. When the special counsel's office interviewed Mifsud, did he lie to you guys too?
Can't get into that.
Did you interview Mifsud?
Can't get into that.
Is Mifsud Western intelligence or Russian intelligence?
Can't get into that.
A lot of things you can't get into. What's interesting, you can charge 13 Russians no one's ever heard of, no one's ever seen, no one's ever going to hear of them, no one's ever going to see them. You can charge them. You can charge all kinds of people who are around the president with false statements. But the guy who launches the guy who puts this whole story in motion, you can't charge him. I think that's amazing.
I'm not certain I agree with your characterization.
Report. Mifsud told Papadopoulos. Papadopoulos tells the diplomat tells the FBI opens the investigation July 31st, 2016, and here we are 3 years later, July of 2019, the country's been put through this, and the central figure who launches it all lies to us, and you guys don't hunt him down and interview him again.
Well, that's all you got to know about Robert Mueller and our crooked FBI. And they're just a bunch of scumbag, dirty cops, apparatchiks that are protecting the Clintons and the Obamas, who are the real promulgators of all the false allegations against Trump vis-a-vis Russia. And then, of course, later on, the Ukraine. And we know that Bidens are all in bed with the Ukrainians, and the Russians were funneling money to the Clinton Foundation to the tune of one speech alone. Billy Boy made $500,000 and the hundreds of millions of dollars. And I got to tell you, the KGB and the Russians, and I don't know what their internal police force is even named anymore, but they've made such clowns out of our FBI and our CIA. Absolute clowns. I mean, they must laugh themselves to sleep every night. Okay? And Efren Zimbalist Jr. must be rolling in his grave. That's the guy who starred in the FBI series in the 60s and 70s. But this is what we're stuck with. This is America. Okay, to quote Rachel Maddow, this is our country now. This is what we have, the enemies within. And none of them are going to jail. And none of them have been prosecuted. And we've got Peter Ponimus Barr and his buddy, the vaunted Mr. Durham or Dunham or whatever the hell his name is, and we haven't heard a thing, but they just keep switching the holidays. We should know something by Christmas. We should know something by Easter Sunday. We will know something by Memorial Day. We're going to hear something by July 4th. We're going to hear something before the end of the summer. They're already talking Labor Day, okay? Which puts them very conveniently just before the next election. And boy, are they hoping Dirty Joe wins, so they can all just sleek back into the shadows, back to their scum ponds where they all live and lurch in the swamp, and take their crooked country back. And I'm going to tell you something. This is on every citizen in this country, left and right, especially you lefties, because you still sing the travails of Watergate like it was the American Iliad, and you can't get 10 people to have a cogent discussion of what Watergate really was all about, because it was nothing beyond the tempest in the teapot compared to this. But not a word of indignation about the crooked FBI. Thank God for Jimmy Dore. He's a progressive. The guy does this TV show. And I want to tell you, I have never seen anyone in my adult life that is as honest as this guy. And he could be a little bit edgy, and I know a little bit about that. And he could be a little coarse, and God bless him for it. And I've talked to Christians and said, well, the language, I'll tell you what. Come up with some adjectives. Stand by a crucifixion. See how nice your language is. Go watch what they did to Jesus or Peter or St. Paul. Let me tell you something. I don't think it's the vocabulary at that point that offends God. It's deeds, not words, that are either good or evil. And this is the time of deeds, bad deeds. And every American, I don't care, black, white, Jew, Gentile, I don't care what you are. If you're not white hot pissed that this FBI and the government apparatchiks who swear that this is their country and not ours, because it ain't we the people anymore at all. You ain't even we the sheeple. These people don't go to jail. Brennan, Mueller, Strzok, Comey, they don't go to jail. I don't care if you elect Bozo the Clown. I don't care if you elect Jesus Christ. This country is freaking done.